All right, guys, welcome back. CFP here, and this is Survival Living. So this is our first outdoor basic training course. We've got our first crew out here. So next few days we'll be doing some filming, get some photo shots done, guys. This is actually a very exciting time. We got a lot of rain coming in, so we get to put to the test starting fire in wet condition. It's all part about survival, so stick around. So right now I got my lid for my canteen. Just going to dig out a spot. Let this fill up. Now I can take my shamog or a t-shirt, soak up this water, rinse it out into my cup. Okay, now this water is going to be dirty, so I'm going to have to filter it back out when I go to put it in my canteen to boil. But this will have sand inside of it, all right? But I've already collected this out, and I can take my shamog again or a t-shirt, put over my canteen, pour it in. When I start my fire, I can boil that water. That shamog or t-shirt is going to block that sand. Still going to have to boil it if you're running a Sawyer mini or something like that. It'll catch the particles. You'll be fine because it deals with bacteria. Sawyers will filter out all that stuff as far as bacteria, giardia, and dysentery. But if you dig a hole deep enough, you can just collect it straight up. It'll be less sand in it. Just make sure that the water filters itself out. This old black muddy stuff. And it'll just keep on running itself out, and it'll just constantly fill up. So you can just dip it in with your t-shirt, bring it out into your cup, pour into your canteen. You know, if you come across water and you can't find any decent water, you can actually get it out of the ground, right off the ground. But because this is obviously a rain runoff, we're out here in the woods, so there's no industrial pollution. But you don't know what pissed the shit upstream. So still got to boil up your water or filter it out with a Sawyer mini or something that's, you know, the same type. So since I've put this contaminated water in here, could be, before I drink out of this, I've got to clean it or I got to put water in and boil it. Just because it's empty, bacteria can still be in that container. All right. So it'll take a couple minutes, guys. Rest up in your smoke. Get your smoke break. No big deal.
Yeah, I don't see too much.
Alright, so we're going to move over. I've got some material. I want to show y'all what is punk wood, how to easily identify it, which we're going to be using to make charred material with. Tonight we're going to be making char cloth and also charred material with your own fires. You just do it right there at your campsite. So I'm going to show you that. But first, here we got ourselves a birthday boy. I won't say your name because, you know, it is the internet. So I'm just going to say happy birthday to you during the song. And here we go. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Survival Living Guy. Happy birthday to you. Now, what kind of person comes out to the freaking woods on their birthday? In the rain. It's been raining all day. It's going to be raining all night, all day tomorrow. Hey, when we're talking about starting fire in wet conditions, yeah, right here. Using magnesium fire starter, ferrocerium rods. Yeah, it can be done. These guys right here, this lady right here, done it. So, moving forward, let's go on to the punk wood. Alright guys, so we've had a lot of rain conditions here. It's been raining all day. Finally we got a break in the weather. We did collect a lot of firewood and stuff like that, but everything's wet out here. So we do have our Bigfoot Bushcraft ferrocerium rod, and also brought one of these fire plugs with me. So these are very simple to use, guys. Just break it up. As soon as my fingers work, which is actually kind of chilly out today. Break the material up, set it in place. Now these are waterproof and they are windproof, so big help right there. Going to get this ignited. Now we're going to start setting all of our material here. Of course I'm using twigs right now because everything is wet, but the fire from this will dry it all out and we will be able to get a fire started here. Now I've also got some dead material that's actually dry on the inside, so we're going to be using this also. Get this fire going. You can always find dry material, start your fire inside wood. Most of the time. Sometimes you get hold of some dead stuff that's waterlogged, pass it by. You get into the material, you can actually find dry material to start a fire in wet conditions. So as you can see here, got our fire going. We'll let this cook off. We'll be able to start adding more wood to this and dry this area out and dry myself out because it's getting wet out here. Alright, later on once your fire starts going good, scrape your coal bed away from your backdrop so you don't catch that on fire. I give it about 8 inches back away from it, yeah, so you don't catch that on fire. Because it will once that moisture, because it's been raining all day, once that moisture goes away, it should start up on you. That way you still got your reflection. Now right here guys, he's actually split all his lumber down, got down to the dry material. We've been having rain non-stop for hours, so he's actually getting to the dry material, get himself a small coal bed built to watch drying out his material above. The mug in here. There we go. Alright. Now leave it alone, brother. Pyro.
I'm ready to take these wet socks off.
Alright, as you see right here, got about a foot away from the backdrop for radiation for heat. This way it doesn't burn down her backdrop at all. This is actually perfect right here. This way the heat will travel into the tarp structure itself. As long as the fire stays small like this and not a raging fire, that tarp should be okay in that distance over here. Alright, so even though it's dark, course is not done. We still have to make char cloth. We have to make charred wood out of punk wood. We've already went through shelter construction today. As you can see, I've got wood stacked up over here trying to dry out here at the fire. once my cold bed gets really well, I'm going to move it forward a little bit, get it off our fire reflector over here. So that there does help generate heat back. And of course, drying out our clothes. Everything got wet out here. I mean, we wear ponchos and things like that, but the fact is, when it's raining out here in Northwest Florida, it rains.
I can only imagine what that was.
Things you hear in the woods. Alright guys, so right now we're working on making some char material out of some punk wood. We already took care of the char cloth, so moving forward. Looks like someone's dinner is still warm. So how long you've had it in the fire?
15 minutes.
Okay. Yeah, sometimes punk wood, it depends on how wet it is, how long it's going to take to actually cook off. And it depends on how tight it is, compact. You can look like 45 minutes sometimes.
Yeah, I took a bunch out and put it back on. So when I checked it, it was like I just put it on there.
Yeah. But once we get all this done and we hit it with flint and steel, we'll be able to call it a night.
Yes, sir.
So, gear. I had to drop my gear. We had a medical emergency on our first outing. So, I'll drop my gear. I'll make sure I get everybody out, and then I'll go back with my gear. So, I'm going to collect my gear and get my ass out of this rain. So guys, we just finished up our first basic survival training course. Everybody here got certified and patched through this. So how was it, guys and gal?
Absolutely awesome. Fantastic. Very, very cold.
Very worth it.
Very, very cold and wet.
Very cold.
Yes.
Wet.
It was fun though.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
A lot of fun, high stress, lots of work, lots of hiking. Yeah, it's a real deal. Very real.
Make sure you wear good boots.
Amen.
Definitely. And bring extra boot laces.
Yeah. Just don't bring extra everything.
Alright guys, so right fast. Yes, we do have our patches, and that is for completing the course and actually doing everything required in the course. So, as I have made mention before on our course, we have a list of required items, and we have a list of additional items you can bring. Now, with that additional items that you can bring, do not deviate from that list. The fact is, we do a lot of hiking. I've shown our videos of me outdoors, alright? And while I'm outdoors doing that, I'm running the course while I'm out there. Everything I take you through on the basic survival training course is what I've already done. So you see my gear. I pack heavy. The reason I pack heavy, I carry a lot of camera equipment, and I carry a lot of extra supplies in case of an emergency, or as we can all attest to by going to other survival courses, some people don't bring everything that was required. So as an instructor, it's my job to make sure that you have a good course. So our first basic course, it was cold, it was rainy, it was miserable. That's survival. As long as you listen to what I say and don't tell me what you're going to do, and listen to what I'm teaching you, you'll be fine. Does it suck? Of course it does. No one likes being rained on, but that's why we tell you to pack a poncho, pack tarps. I will teach you everything you need to know in survival. Using a tarp structure, I use them all the time, and it did get cold. It got down in the 30s. Rain, miserable, it's bad, all right? It sucks. But if you construct your structures correctly, place your fire pits correctly, you'll stay nice and toasty. So as far as our medical emergency, things like that, guys, if something goes down, we're going to get you out. Put a little disclaimer here. Speak with your doctor before you come to my course or anyone's course. We are out there. We are pushing. We're training to survive. All right. It's not a glamping course. Okay. And with glamping, I do mean having a lot of extra gear that you don't need to. Your backpack loadout should be 45 pounds, 250 pounds max. And that just depends on if you purchase different things than what I have shown, because not all equipment is made the same or weighs the same. Keep that in mind. You should be training. You should be taking the time and hiking 5-6 miles with gear, okay? Even though we did not complete a whole 6-mile trip, as a matter of fact, first day we did 1.2 miles, 1.5 miles. Second day, about a mile. Under heavy load, and I've done a lot more. Under heavy load, that weight will catch up to you. That's why I say pack the gear that's required, and when I say additional gear, follow those rules. So one of the things that we're going to be doing with our next trip, which is February 17th, by the way, we already got some members already signed up for that. We're going to keep that open till the end of January. February 1st is going to be the cutoff on that one. We're going to do gear shakeout. Before we get out there and hit the trails and go into the camp zones, you will be shaking out your gear, and I will be visually inspecting. If you got gear that's not on the list, it's going back in your vehicle. Mainly because I train with my gear all the time. You guys see me out here. Right now, out here, I'm in the backyard. But I'm out in the woods training. 2 weeks out of the month, I'm out here, out there. Big difference from when I was 23, all right? 43 now. So that's why I stress that a lot on there. Again, most medical conditions, hey, we can deal with it. We'll alter the course. But let me know if you got something. I don't want to be 4 miles deep in the woods and then we have something major happens. Sure, we can get on the radio, we can contact emergency service, but the fact is, they still have to get there. All right, so it's a survival training course. We're not camping at the campgrounds. All right, guys, so somebody's got their muffler off their truck again. There's a reason why they call this the Redneck Riviera. And I'll catch y'all later.